Yeah. Well, thank you all for being here. You're here because we have a data reporting coming up. And John, do you want to kick us off?
Yes. Good morning to everyone. Happy New Year. My name is John Leopold. I'm the director of the Central Coast K16 Regional Collaborative. And I really appreciate taking time out of your first week back to participate in this training. Uh, Over the past few years, the collaborative has distributed nearly $10 million worth of grants to create career pathways in computer science, engineering, and healthcare. Um, we've funded 10 pathways involving roughly 53 schools. And there's some great work that is going on out in the six county region, but we want to make sure that we collect the data that helps us tell the story of what our investments have made. That's really critical, important as we move forward, because that's going to tell the story that the kind of partnerships that we've created are yielding the results that we want. So Priscilla Fernandez is going to do a brief overview of the requirements, how to fill out the form, and answer any questions you have. We'll be posting a video of this meeting on our website by tomorrow. So in case there's anything you want to go back to, you'll be able to refer to that. I also want to let you know that our board has approved the creation of the Central Coast Masters for Educators program. One of the things that we found while we were funding these pathways is that there was an uneven use of dual enrollment for high school students can get college credit while they're still in high school. One of the challenges of that, and talking with community college partners, is that there's a lack of qualified instructors. And so the collaborative is going to be offering a great big incentive for high school teachers to get their single subject master's degree in either math or English, so we can expand the number of dual enrollment courses in the region. The program will cover about 75% of the cost of the master's in a fully online program through CSU Channel Islands. We'll be getting out more information to all the school districts about this over the next 30 days. But I wanted to put this on your radar, especially if your school is in need of dual enrollment. The highest priority for where we are going to be supporting teachers will be in districts where there isn't some of these dual enrollment activities going on. So I look forward to this presentation from Priscilla. Thank you for the work that you all do every day to make the work for students successful and help them move into high wage jobs. Thanks a lot.
All right. So yeah, like John mentioned, you've all probably met me before, but my name is Priscilla Fernandez and I work on the data and evaluation team for our K16 collaborative. And I just want to highlight and echo what John said about all of you participating in this work, and providing us with this data. If you participated in one of our convenings recently, our partners really have been truly excited to review the data across the region, had really meaningful conversations about the data, and that's all because of your participation and contributions. So again, want to thank you again for the role that you play in this. So today we're just going to go over the data reporting form. So you should have all already received your link for the form that you will be completing. Just answering any questions that you may have, going over the office hours schedules and the deadline for completing. And if at any point you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, write it in the chat. My also partner is going to be, Lisa is going to be monitoring the chat and letting me know if there are any questions. Okay, so we can just dive right in. So all of this is going to look familiar to you. So I'm just going to go over the parts to keep in mind as you are going through this form. So first of all, the due date. So it's due January 23rd. And so here, just at the bottom, letting us know once you have fully completed all of the questions and all of the tabs in your form, just checking that box because that signals to us that you are done. So we don't have to reach out or check everyone's form. Also, please do not add rows or columns. So all of these sheets are actually linked to a master sheet. So you adding rows or columns kind of messes up those links. So just wanted to note that there. And also, one of the great advantages of using Google Sheets is that if you have any questions as you're filling out the form, some of you have figured this out, you can always tag me and ask me the questions. You can tag other people that are helping you fill out the form. So hopefully that facilitates those conversations. Okay, so for the first page, again, this is already pre-filled out. This is what you all already put in last time. So really the goal here is to make sure is all of the information that you inputted last time correct? Another thing we want to know is as you're reviewing any pathway aligned selections for the courses that you defined as part of the pathway, did these courses stay the same? So now that you've actually been engaging in work with your partners, are these the actual courses that you're focusing your efforts on? So if everything looks good, there are no updates to the page, just selecting that at the very top so that we know that there were no changes to this particular page. Now, another thing that I want to highlight here is making sure that if you are a school district, just want to highlight that you are only including data for the high schools that qualified for funding, so not the full district. So if you're filling out student enrollment, student outcomes, you're only filling it out for the high schools that are part of your project. So wanted to make sure that that clarification is clear. All right. So in terms of enrollment, so here, this might stay the same for a lot of you, but all of that information, it's the same as what you submitted last time. So some of the key questions to think about as you're reviewing this page is, did your pathway definition stay the same? So for example, in the first tab here, did you were those the same courses or did you change these courses? Because if you change these courses, you want to make sure that you're focusing the enrollment numbers on the courses that you selected. Also, another key question is, was data for 2024, 2025, was that completed the last time you submitted? So this was back in July. And also, is any data missing? So, for example, if the 2023, 2024 data that you filled out, or if you didn't get a chance to fill that out, please do so. Those are really important numbers that we also want to make sure that we're capturing. Yeah, thank you, Megan, for that question. So currently, whoever is on the form uh, is somebody that we're contacting, but please reach out to Lisa or myself if there is any admin changes that you want to let us know about. Because yes, absolutely, we want to make sure we're sending the form to the right person. So here, if there are no changes, just let us know, check the box. In terms of student outcomes, again, you're asking similar questions. Was the data for 2024, 2025 complete? Was there any data that you didn't get a chance to add that is missing? Also, CCGI, please provide more information. For example, if you left it blank and perhaps 2023, 2024 was you were not part of it. So that would be just something you write in the notes. Maybe the first year of implementation, it's 25, 26, something like that. If you could add those in the notes, that's really helpful for us to just keep track of that information. But it may be that there's no change here, so you could just select that as well. This is similar. So if there were no changes, you would add that here. So this is for our K8 partners. Again, you're just reviewing the data, making sure everything looks complete or if any data was missing. So this is for our K12s. So we have a new page focusing on dual enrollment. And so would love also if you have any questions, making sure that this is data that you have access to. But here we provided two specific definitions for dual enrollment courses that we're focusing on. So CCAP courses specifically, and we are also asking about articulated courses. So this was what our data work group was really interested in capturing. I know that there are AP courses and other things like that, but we're just mostly looking for formal agreements. So the first section here where you're looking at number of courses. So you're first reporting on institution-wide in the pathway. How many courses are there in a specific pathway at your institution? And so the reason that we're asking this question is because, as some of you know, who filled this out last time, perhaps your institution already has courses that are offered in the pathway. So it wouldn't be that there are no courses at your institution. There are just not any courses that you're working on as part of your work with your partners. So we wanted to make that distinction. So if your institution offers courses in the pathway, that is where you would report that in the first section. And then this section below it is asking about specifically courses that are supported directly or indirectly by the collaborative or activities that you're engaging in with the collaborative partners. So here you would specify, yes, we are working on creating specific courses, on expanding certain courses. Who are your institutional partners? And also in this bottom part, we're really interested in course names. So providing the list of courses offered in the pathway that are offered or planned, and also math and English courses and providing names there. Any questions? Okay.
I have a question that might be a little silly, but we in our grant we specifically are focusing on the engineering computing pathway. So does that mean we are only filling in the parts for that engineering computing pathway?
Correct. Yes. Yes. So throughout this entire document, even for this section. Yeah, any other questions? I know this is a new page, so I wanted to just give you all some space to digest, but let me know. And then we're also asking about enrollment, and these are only CCAP courses. So for example, there may have been a course that already existed that you're expanding, or perhaps it didn't exist that you are creating. So here, these numbers would be 0, but maybe you're implementing or offering it in 25, 26. So it would still be 0, and then you would report these enrollment numbers for 25, 26 once the completion of the academic year happens. And just wanted to ensure for our K-12 partners, this is data that all of you have access to, correct? Enrollment numbers for your CCAP courses? Okay. All right, in terms of work-based learning, so this looks similar to what you filled out last time, but here we're focusing on what opportunities were offered in cycle 3. So you would just select the specific opportunities, but really also providing just details about the specific activities or opportunities that were offered. And then in terms of the number of students, so you would not, if you already updated that for previous years, you do not need to fill that out until 25-26 is complete. So it's really this top section that you would be filling out for work-based learning. So you're not focusing on enrollment numbers unless that data was missing previously and now you have access to it or something like that. Okay, so this is another new page that you might have noticed in your sheet. So part of our conversations and in our convenings, we talked a lot about our recovery with equity strategies. And there should be a link in your Google Sheet if you want to read over those and just refresh your memory. But each of these, we cited different outcomes in the applications. And all of you proposed specific activities that would be connected to these recovery with equity strategies. And so what you see here in this top part is first the outcome that was part of our goal as a collaborative. And then at the bottom, we pre-filled or copy pasted the activities that you included in your application. And so I just want to highlight that this is just here for your reference. Um, it may be that some of this has changed, perhaps the strategy has changed, and that is completely okay. It's not meant to scare you and say, "Oh my gosh, we're not really doing this anymore." That is fine. That's just there to jog your memory about what was written previously, but wanted to just highlight that. Now, there are also institutions that are partnering with a number of different institutions. So we selected one of them. So if you saw the activities that were included, it may be that they're slightly different, and that's okay. Because in this bottom part is where you're actually going to write what you are actually doing, what is being planned or currently being implemented. And in these sections, you're focusing primarily on what your institution, of course, what you're doing with your partners, but what you are primarily involved with. So what is your institution kind of leading? Where are you shining in these areas? And you see here, there's spaces for 1, 2, 3 activities. That doesn't mean that you have to write in 3 activities. That is just space. If, for example, some of the activities that you are implementing or planning have different RWE strategies, then that's the space to be able to change those that selection. So don't feel like you have to fill out every single activity. So in this first part, you're writing what is planned or implemented. You are selecting the strategy. You're also selecting progress. So for example, it may be in progress or it's already fully implemented or established, fully institutionalized. That means it's part of programming, it's completely integrated. Um, and then the last question here. So this is really where you're writing a little bit more about how it is that equity is being intentionally considered in the design or in the implementation of this activity. So just providing some examples here. So for example, who is the activity intended to serve? How is access or participation being expanded or targeted? So just some ideas there. And yeah, just describing anything you want to share about where you're at in terms of that activity. Any questions here? I know it looks a little daunting, but the other thing I want to point out is that you may see some rows that are hidden. That's just because they may not apply to your institution. So, for example, there are 4-year outcomes that are related specifically to them. So we hid those rows. So if you unhide them and you see them and are confused, that is why I just wanted to point that out. Um, And then the last section is really just the open-ended questions. So these are really part of the quarterly narrative reporting. So you're focusing again on the period between July to December 2025. So asking how many meetings have you conducted? How have you collaborated with your partners? How have you worked collaboratively to engage industry partners or plan to? We also really want to learn about any major accomplishment. What are you most proud of? This really gives us an opportunity to understand and highlight some of the work that you all are doing, and then highlighting any challenges that you're currently experiencing. These are pretty simple. All of you have probably filled this out already, so just planning ahead, ensuring that you get on the calendar of your institutional research offices, asking them to help you. Also contacting us if you have any questions or need clarification on anything. Attending our office hours where we can provide you more personalized support, review the sheet. Also, we've been reaching out to some schools to just get a little bit more clarification on how they're defining the pathway. These are the dates for our office hours over the next couple of weeks. This will be the Zoom meeting that is available for all the sessions. And also, just to make it a little bit easier on all of you, I also included this schedule and the meeting link in your Google Sheet. So you can see that there. And for our county offices, we are just asking the same general open-ended questions that we did last time. We thank you for your responses on some of them. You can see that we removed some of the ones that you had already responded to. And that is really it. This is your data team. And any questions?
So let me look back, but I think I'll look in the spot.
Megan, are you chatting? Oh, I didn't know if you were on mute. Okay, thank you.
Priscilla, I'm aware that you sent out the surveys, but there have been some change in staffing. So it would be great if you were on this call but did not get the survey to put your information in the chat so we can make sure that you do get the survey.
Yeah, so I added my email on the chat in case anybody hasn't received it. I've already been receiving a few emails that I will be sending you your submission form, but I will re-add my email in the chat.
And that is really it. Um, Hopefully this is pretty straightforward. And if anyone has any follow-up questions, like I said, reach out, but I